I was talking about the universe, and he was chilling as a primeval atom.
Yeah, but then, boom! Big Bang.
Well, some say he came from an egg, and I probably believe it, considering how scrambled he is.
Did you know Universe had a stalker back in the day?
No way he had a stalker.
Yeah, he did. This guy named Planck was super obsessed with Universe, but specifically when he was a baby.
Yeah, it's weird. Naming Universe's birth records after himself is really creepy.
Well, he was a scientist, and the universe is pretty unique. At birth, the universe was only 10 to the negative 35 meters.
Dude, that can't be healthy.
Well, it's not like it stayed it for that long. It was only 10 to the negative 43 seconds.
Still though, wasn't he extremely hot?
From what I heard, he had a 10 to the 32 Kelvin fever, but it came down pretty quickly.
I don't believe that for even 1 second. He was the only one in existence with no proof or witnesses.
What about the four fundamental forces? They were there.
Nah, they were only one force, and gravity was too busy beefing with the others for them to pay attention.
I actually heard gravity split. That's gonna leave a mark on the universe for a couple billion years now, or more.
Hey, table's leaving. I can't believe gravity would separate from the other fundamental forces like our table did.
Alright, dude.
Let's give him a call and see what's up.
Alright, so gravity, you know why we called. Let's hear it from the source.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've heard, but things were getting pretty hot between us. 10 to the 27th Kelvin to be specific. So I decided to split.
Well, we've heard people calling it the Grand Unification Epoch. What's that about?
Well, according to them, I was the problem, but in my professional opinion, as a fundamental force of nature, I think they were jealous. Since I left, the universe has been getting warmer, not cooler. So maybe I was really the binding force.
The universe is pretty young to be causing all this drama. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, well, there's a lot more in store now that I have left, but you'll just have to see.
Alright, well, we'd like to thank gravity for its time, but let's talk about the more pressing issue, the rapid expansion of the universe. Thank you, gravity.
Okay, so right after gravity dipped, the universe was like, man, what do I do now?
Let's check in with the real instigator, Miss Inflation herself.
Inflaton, buddy, how you doing? Long time no universal scale at exponential expansion.
I was just chilling in my high energy vacuum when I thought, what if I didn't? What if I exploded instead?
Well, you literally blew up the universe from subatomic to 10 light years wide and 0.0000000000000000001 seconds.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm a hero, but the math checks out. That's 10 to the 26 times bigger in every direction.
You basically press the cosmic button on space-time.
Fact. And those tiny quantum wiggles, yeah, I stretched those out too. You all call them galaxies now.
So, what happened after you burned through all that high energy drama?
Oh, I just left. Dropped down to a low energy state and dumped all that energy into particles. Quarks, gluons, antiquarks, a literal subatomic stew.
The reheating party?
That's the one. I said, I'm out. And I left the universe hotter than ever. A lecture week epic was like, what just happened?
Well, thanks for inflating our understanding.
Size doesn't matter, unless you grow by a factor of 10 to the 78.
All right, well, we'd like to thank Inflaton for her time. Next up, the Electro Week Epic.
Quite an interesting perspective. Glad she made time for us.
It was cool, although I'm more interested in the fundamental forces drama.
So now we've got a guest caller, the Strong Nuclear Force. Let's hear him now.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so we heard you broke up with the other fundamental forces. What's that all about?
Yeah, I gotta confirm the rumors, but we're split.
Okay, so what's the reason? I mean, you guys have been together since.
Since the birth of the universe, no?
Yeah. What he said. So what's up with that?
They say a proton got to stay positive, but the electromagnetic mood kept bringing me down, man. Gravity was the glue that held us together. Without it to pull me back, it was my time to go.
And what's this about quarks and hadrons?
Nah, you can't say you know about that yet. It's still in development, but trust me, when it's ready to release, it'll be massive.
All right, well, thank you for the time, and happy atomic formation.
Alright then. Up next, we'll be talking about the rumored quarks and subatomic particles.
Okay, so at this point, the universe is still crazy hot. We're talking trillions of degrees. Like, nothing can even exist in a stable way yet.
At this point, the basic building blocks of matter, quarks, are just flying around freely. No protons, no neutrons yet.
Yeah, it's because all those quarks are too hot to bind together. They're surrounded by gluons, basically the glue. But the conditions aren't calm enough yet for all these things to stick together.
And this is also when the forces we know, electromagnetism, the weak nuclear force, finally settle into their current forms, right?
Still no atoms, no light, no anything we'd recognize. At least the ingredients are all there now, I guess.
Eventually, the temperature drops just enough. Still insanely hot, but low enough that quarks start forming hadrons.
Which means protons and neutrons finally show up. I mean, it took like a microsecond, but here we are.
Wild to think that everything, stars, planets, you, me, starts from what's going on down right here.
And just like that, the universe gets ready for the next stage, the Hadron Epic.
But for now, quarks finally getting it together. Literally.
But where would we be right now if the quarks didn't decide to join forces and become hadrons?
A world without protons and neutrons seems impossible, but those are still nothing without neutrinos in the mix.
Really, neutrinos literally have no mass and are neutral. They can't be that important.
Maybe individually, but don't forget, some of the neutrinos get together with neutrons to form proton-electron pairs.
Oh yeah, neutrinos are so nonchalant that I forgot they have motion like that.
So now we've got a small teaser of one of our songs from our new album, CMB, or as we like to call it, Cosmic Microwave Bars.
Coming to an epoch near you.
We went together like electrons and protons. She made me electroweak to my knees. Until one day she left me like gravity. And I cooled off a quadrant degrees.
Now, that was only just a taste. But let's just say the rest of the song will leave you in a cosmic trance.
Yeah, and stay tuned for another teaser of our album later in the podcast.
You know what's crazy? All this hadron and anti-hadron gang beef.
Damn it, it's crazy the kind of fights that they're getting.
They
Just cannot stop.
fighting.
And just take a look at what happened after, bro. The leptons and anti-leptons came in and ruled the universe like emperors.
You kinda gotta admit, it's impressive. The leptons had an army of electrons, and the anti-leptons had their supporters of positrons.
Thank goodness I was there, bro. After the Second Great War, I helped them realize that the photon energy was freed up, which let them finally come together and create those electron-positron pairs.
Alright, well, it's about 3 minutes into the universe's life, and things have finally chilled to about 1 billion degrees.
More like a chillion degrees. Come on, guys. That's cool in cosmic terms. Still hotter than any mixtape ever dropped.
This is when real element making begins. Protons and neutrons start fusing to make atomic nuclei. Hydrogen, helium, little bit of lithium just for seasoning.
Y'all ever realize how bougie helium is? Born early, barely does anything now, and only shows up at parties and balloons.
It's giving retired early on generational wealth.
Anyway, fusion's popping off for like 17 more minutes, but by the 20-minute mark, game over. The universe is too cold, density's too low, and fusion pieces out.
We call it primordial nuclear synthesis. But it's basically the universe's baby shower, except the gifts are subatomic.
Why don't you trust atoms?
Oh no.
They make up everything.
But seriously, this is when electrons started linking with those nuclei to form neutral atoms.
Come on, bring them on. Come to Papa.
My man, where's my man? Where's my man?
And boom, those atoms are the real MVPs. Still here, making up everything. Literally.
Shout out to the universe for cooking up that energy menu in under just 30 minutes. It's faster than my DoorDash.
Kind of crazy to think that all happened in just a few minutes too.
But we have one more thing to add before we leave you.
Let's hear a word from our sponsor, Quark Soup.
Feeling hungry after 20 minutes of universal expansion? Try the new Quark Soup. It has all the nutritious subatomic particles needed to make a yummy stew of protons and electrons. And it goes great with bread. Anyways, we hope you try the new Quark Soup, and we'll see you in episode 2, The Matter Era. Last time on, we watched the universe get born, have multiple force breakups, and cook up some of the first elementary particles like it was Iron Chef Cosmic Edition.
Now we're heading to the matter era, where things finally start to come together.
Atoms, light, stars, galaxies, planets, and eventually, us. Let's get cosmic.
Up first, you'll hear a teaser about our upcoming album, Cosmic Microwave Bars.
It's time.
Radiation domination filled more than just a nation. A universe of photons spreading the light of creation. Leptons and anti-leptons out of the equation. A world full of plasma ruled to recombination.
That's all you hear about the album for right now, but please make sure and pre-order and get our song on vinyl when it releases.
So now we're in post-lepton chaos. And boom, we enter the photon epoch.
Sounds calm, but come on now. Imagine living inside a microwave forever.
Plasma everywhere. Nuclei, electrons, photons, just crashing into each other nonstop.
And photons, they weren't vibing. They try to move and immediately get smacked by an electron.
It's like a cosmic traffic jam. No light escaping, just vibes and collisions.
Yeah, sounds like I-4.
Meanwhile, nuclei were trying to fuse into stuff like helium and lithium.
But high energy photons kept breaking them up. Deuterium was getting bullied on sight.
Eventually, though, the universe cooled off enough for fusion to stick. Like, finally, we're keeping this helium.
But even after fusion chilled out, the photons still running the show.
That's why it's called the photon epoch. Not peaceful, just photon-dominated chaos.
Here's the twist. Some of these photons are still with us today.
Yup, stretched out into microwaves. That's your cosmic microwave background right there.
The photon epoch was like the universe gearing up to glow up. And what came next?
Recombination. Light finally breaks free.
Okay, so check this out. After like 370,000 years of just pure chaos,
And plasma soup. Ah, don't forget the soup.
Yeah, like a cosmic smoothie of photons, electrons, and nuclei. Deliciously unseeable.
finally it cools down enough for the real magic to happen. Electrons start linking up with protons to make neutral hydrogen.
Doesn't sound like that big of a deal.
Until you realize it changes everything. Like, suddenly light can actually travel.
Y'all ever heard the term recombination? So misleading, bro. It's not like the electrons and protons had a previous situationship or something.
Exactly. It's just the first time they hooked up. No history, just vibes. But the name stuck anyway.
And fun fact, direct recombination to hydrogen's ground state, you do that and the photon it gives off just ionizes some other atom, again, almost instantly.
Bro, it's like trying to clean a mess and just making another one. So instead, electrons slide into higher energy states first, then work their way slowly down, releasing photons along the way.
But every now and then, one of these photons escapes thanks to redshift, and boom, we get that beautiful cosmic microwave background radiation.
That's when photons finally dip out of the plasma and stop interacting with matter. They're free.
We call it photon decoupling, but some people mix it up with recombination. Recombination is when atoms form. Decoupling is when light stops getting interrupted every 2 seconds.
Basically, this is the moment the universe became transparent. The first time light could actually go somewhere.
And we still see that light today as the cosmic microwave background, the OG radiation.
It's literally a baby picture of the universe, but like a baby that's still glowing almost 14 billion years later.
And it marked the end of the primordial light barrier. Before that, you couldn't see anything but photon fog.
So yeah, universe glows up, becomes see-through, and now we finally get to watch a real cosmic story unfold.
Alright, lights out. Welcome to the universe's emo phase, the Dark Ages.
It's literally the period when the universe is just dark. No stars, no galaxies, no glow up. Just hydrogen everywhere, soaking up all the light, just like a black hole with trust issues.
And not even spicy hydrogen. We're talking neutral hydrogen atoms. Chill, basic, and completely blocking ultraviolet light from getting anywhere.
The wild part? This just wasn't a few thousand years. The darkness lasted for nearly 1 billion years.
But behind the scenes, stuff was brewing. Gravity's been pulling that hydrogen together. Eventually, boom, stars start forming.
And those early stars? Monsters. Huge, hot, and pumping out ultraviolet light like prime LeBron.
That light starts ionizing the hydrogen, ripping electrons off atoms, and suddenly, the fog starts to lift.
That's the beginning of the end of the Dark Ages. Reionization kicks in, and photons start traveling free again.
Basically, the lights slowly come back on across the universe, like a cosmic sunrise, but spread out over hundreds of millions of years.
So yeah, the Dark Ages weren't empty, just waiting for their stars to show up and start the party.
Okay, so remember how the universe was just chilling in total darkness?
Yeah, well, not that long. Around 300 million years in, the universe just decides to flip the switch and just start showing up to everyone.
Enter the first stars. We're talking population 3, basically the OG stars. Pure hydrogen, helium, and zero metal, like pre-Spotify vinyl energy.
These things were absolute beasts. 100 to 300 times the mass of our sun. Burning hot, living fast, and going out with a bang. Literally. Supernova style.
And those explosions, they seeded the universe with the first heavier elements. So, no big deal. Just casually creating the building blocks for, like, everything.
Meanwhile, gravity's in the back, doing its thing, pulling stars and gas into little squads we call proto-galaxies.
Think of them like baby galaxies. Messy, chaotic, full of gas. Kind of like Dr. Bell.
By around 400 to 500 million years in, some of those baby galaxies start leveling up, clumping tighter, going brighter, and spitting out UV like there's no tomorrow.
Which helps with reionization, by the way. Those photons are still out here, ionizing the leftover hydrogen and cleaning up the cosmic fog.
And the galaxy keeps evolving. Mergers, clusters, galactic drama. It's like cosmic Lego. Small pieces forming together to make something bigger and badder.
So, yeah, from starbirth to galactic mashups, the universe went from dark and moody, basically a star-studded rave in a few 100 million years.
And this party, it's still going on. We're just dancing to a really slow beat.
So by now, we've got stars, galaxies, all that good stuff. But the universe is still kind of foggy.
Right? While he's trying to travel, it's just getting absorbed left and right by neutral hydrogen. Like walking through a rave, smoke machines on next.
But then, stars start pushing out ultraviolet radiation. And suddenly, that hydrogen starts getting ionized. Electrons, gone. Protons, lonely. It's the cosmic breakup.
It didn't happen everywhere at once, though. It started in little patches, tiny ionized bubbles around the first galaxies.
Like galactic nightlights. Eventually those bubbles start linking up, expanding out until the universe wants one big ionized glow up.
And around 600 million years in, quasars roll up. Supermassive black holes just absolutely beaming with radiation. Like, need help frying that hydrogen?
That kicked reionization into high gear. By the time we hit 1 billion years, boom, the universe is fully ionized. Photons are free to go wherever.
Light can finally travel without getting blocked. The universe is clear, and we can start seeing galaxies from billions of light years away.
Which is wild, because this is when space becomes transparent. Like the actual moment we could start seeing the universe.
So yeah, reionization, it's like the universe turning the lights on for the first time.
After all that chaos, here we are.
Podcasting about it.
Talking about the past while looking into the future.
Stick around for our next episode. Will the universe end in a big freeze, big crunch, or big rip? Stay tuned.
I like that.